Good morning, evening, or afternoon, DD, and welcome to episode 2 of Sometimes Good, Sometimes Shit. I'm your host, Swazo, and my counterpart today, Mr. Devin Dimes.
What's up, baby? What's up? We got I think we're coming out Friday, right? Not Saturday morning.
I hope so.
Little by little, we're earning our trust. We're moving later on in the week.
We're the new
earlier
kids on
in the week.
We're the new kids on the block, so it's been hard to get off the stoop so far over here in the DD scheduling segments.
All good, bro.
But we've been getting some good feedback, and I'm glad. Even though it was Saturday morning, a nice amount of you guys listened to our first episode, so we do appreciate that.
I'm assuming Captain's Corner will start coming out Mondays then.
I don't know, man. I don't think we got one episode so far.
Yeah, but I don't think they have any. And if they do,
it's a weird season of segments. Yesterday we had all the smoke on IG Live.
I loved it.
It was awesome. I think that was
I love it.
Great, great change. Even though Joan and Andy se despitaron every once in a while and they forget to look at the chat. But it was great. I love the format. I love the way that they were engaging back and forth. They would come in the chat. El Escándalo was all over the place in the chat. So it was fun.
That's what we like.
For sure. Yeah, it was a good change to the segment. So I enjoyed that. I hope they come back with it again.
All right. So let's get to it. Obviously, week to week, things change. Favorites change. Dark horses change. People come into the conversation. People leave the conversation. So to start, who do you got winning the North now?
On the North, I don't think anything has changed other than the favorite that's come out is the 49ers. I think we all had the 49ers as one of the strongest teams in the North. Obviously, especially after the trade of Joan and myself, Albert, and everyone. The Eagles, no one expected them to be any good, even though they did pretty well this week as well. They went 4-2, or they're 4-2. They went 2-1 this week as well. So I think that we all knew the 49ers were a good team, but I don't think anyone really had them as the front runners. And I would say after what I've seen right now, Derek in his rookie season, Jeff in his rookie season, Ham gets a lot of slack in the chat, but Ham is a quick guy. He's a good key player to have, and I think that they're a team to look out for in the North. If not, the guys who are going to take it off, barring any injuries.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I actually have the 49ers as a small favorite in the North. They jumped my Ravens. Hurt me to put it, but it is what it is. I gotta be what's it called? As fair as it gets. So I got the 49ers at plus 550 to win the North, followed by the Ravens at plus 600. And bro, a team that I like that has slowly creeped up, I got them at plus 1200 is the Falcons. With Julio rushing and Al playing safety, they got a pretty good defense. Monkey has been a good addition. I think they definitely has fit them well. Josh has been playing great football. Yeah. And they got a great tier 5 in my boy Alawao. So I think they could creep in, man. I wouldn't count them out.
Julio's been the brains of that operation. I refed a few of their games, or I think one of their games this week, and he was calling every single play.
I heard that too.
Pretty much. And he's not the quarterback. He was calling the plays. He was telling the guys where they need to be, when they need to be. He's telling Josh, listen, I was here out there. So he's. I think his jersey even says the brains, or some shit like that. So he's definitely running that entire operation, and it's working. I think they're 4-2 or
4-2,
something like that. But it's working for them. Let me ask you a question. You guys are what, 4-2 as well?
4-1-1.
4-1-1, and you're missing Pat and
Kevin
this week. So you think you go 0-3?
No, I think we sneak one out.
You sneak one out.
Yeah, of course.
Top two in each division gets the bye. Do you think that this will be a big week if you guys go 0-3? What do you think that does for your chances at a bye? I'm not saying you don't make the playoffs. You definitely make the playoffs, but do you think that affects your bye week?
That's what I'm scared of. I'll be honest with you. But I mean, I had the bye last week with the Lions, and not last week, last season with the Lions. And bro, the bye is such a difference, man. It's such a huge difference. So I really, really want that bye. But I definitely agree. I think it's definitely going to hurt us. The good thing is that all the teams around us, we get to play them again,
Yes.
in week 4 and week 5.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm confident in the Ravens that we will be able to get those games back. I told Pat, I'm like, I'm going to try and get you one. I'm all in the first game. They're missing their tier 2. So I think we got a chance. I mean, they get ball first against the Eagles. But if we can get a stop, bro, you don't know, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we get ball against the Raiders, and we get ball against the Falcons. So maybe if I could score 4 times in a row,
No, that's
with a
all it
couple of tier
takes.
6s, and we sneak one out, bro, I'll even take a tie. So let's see, man. We'll see. I mean, this week is huge. You have a lot of guys missing.
Yeah.
And a few captains missing too. So we'll see, bro. We'll see what's
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, I think people take for granted the ties. The ties are huge in this.
Oh
In
yeah,
DD, and I think people are like, oh, whatever. But that point is what gets you in at the end of the season. So teams that are going into like a tough week that they know they don't really have many games to win, whether it be because of injuries or because they have key guys out or their captain out or their tier 2 or whatever. They shouldn't be looking at the week as I'm going 0-3 or whatever. At the end of the day, if you go 0-3, dude, that's a huge dub. That's like if you went 1-2,
of
and,
course.
and
You
a
get
lot of the teams
points.
are looking at it as I'm going 0-3, or we're not even going to inch one out. I have to play with 2 tier 6s. When reality, that 1 point for a tie could be the make or break. We see it every season. There's always 2 to 3 teams playing to get in on the last week of DD in each conference type thing. There's always 2 or 3 teams
Of
that they
course.
need to win 2 games. They need to win 3 games. They need to go 2-1, and the other one needs to go 1-2. So it's historically been proven that the tiebreaker can be a tie in one of the early season games. So
Of course.
yeah, I'm hoping that if the Jets stay together, that one tie that Georgie got us for week 1 is what gets us the bye.
Thanks, Georgie.
Georgie will make
Did
some
something.
contribution somehow from week 1.
So okay, so let's move on. So who do you got in the South?
The South, I still got the Dolphins. The Dolphins have a really solid squad. I don't think that they have any weak pieces except, their tier 6, and Juan isn't awful. He isn't
No,
fast, but
he's
he's not.
smart. No, he's
He's a
smart
smart
and
guy. Yeah, yeah.
knowledgeable. Yeah.
But Fiki, Jason, um, Chris, Alex, those guys are all super solid receivers. Easily you could say that he has a team full of tier 3s, like top tier 3s.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
So he has a really solid team, and he mentioned in DD Live that he's felt like they've lost every game, and somehow they're in first place. I think they're 4-2 as
Yeah,
well.
I mean,
Like that.
if you watch their games and not know the score, you think they're losing.
Right.
I ref their game, and they tied with David, and honestly, like he was going at it, and they didn't play well. They didn't play well at all. So yeah, I mean, I have them as the number 1 team on the South side. I put the Jets number 2. I think that dynamic, what I saw with you and Georgie and Yohan, obviously Ray eating up them tier 6s, Steady playing great defense. I think you guys are a problem. I mean, you can never count out Yohan, honestly. As a quarterback, he's shown that he could win with anything. And then rounding out in third, I have David. David with the Colts. I got him at plus 900. I got the Jets at plus 700, and the Dolphins at plus 500. I really like that move they made, bro. Honestly, I mean, I know Sabina hasn't done shit in 2 seasons, but for some reason, I still have faith in him in a weird way.
I don't know what it is about that trade that I don't like, man. We just played the Colts this week, and I'm not gonna lie, it should have been 4-0. It was 4-1. No, 4 to
I saw that game
1.1 because Ray kind of like ran to one of our corners. I think he ran into Steady. He fell to the ground, and Kevin was wide open. But
yeah,
if it's not for that, it's 4-0 in that game. That team was not great, and I think that line that they had is better than the one of Mikey and Angel, just because sure you want to say Sabina's a better defender than Freddie, that's fine. But Sabina's not a tier one defender. He's not a lockdown corner. He's gonna make plays on tier threes and tier fours and guys like me. Sure, awesome, that's cool.
Of
But he's not
course.
gonna do that. You saw the video of Gary. He's not gonna do that against big horses in the
Gary's
league.
Gary though.
At the end of the day, Freddie has a lot more size. You know, he has a better chance of whether it's even a PI or a hold or whatever it is. He has a better chance of going up and putting a body on a guy than flailing arm Sabina. You know, he's flaggy
Yeah.
loco. And no disrespect to him, he's a great flag football player and he brings a lot of good stuff to DD. I just don't think that was a great move for their defense. And our game showed that they need help on D and on O, obviously, but they
Yeah.
got four zipped in our game. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know that was the best move for the defense. David, David's gonna have
I
to do a
think
lot
they
of David
upgraded.
stuff.
I think they upgraded,
No,
honestly.
overall, when you look at it, yes, on paper they upgraded, but I don't know that it's going to translate to the field.
Now, is David a the big question I think is David a 5-man quarterback?
It's rough, man.
He hasn't shown it. He hasn't shown it. So
he has not shown
he
it
has to step up. He has to step up. Honestly.
Some of his throws were in our game, bro. They were off. And not David at all. It wasn't very David-esque. I don't know if he didn't feel comfortable with the receivers or he doesn't
Who's
have
rushing him?
In our
Georgie.
game, it was Georgie. Yeah, Georgie
That's
was
what it is.
Georgie
you put a good rush on him, it's gonna be difficult. You know,
Yeah,
he
no,
relies a lot of David is relying on the running around and making plays happen. You know, he scored the game that I refed against the Dolphins. He scored 2 plays where they were at the 6-yard line and David was practically on the other 5-yard line, running around, trying to back up against Andres. And then he was able to run all the way around him.
Yeah, I saw.
And
I think Kevin I saw that play on the chat.
And then Kevin was wide open. You know, and that's sometimes how he scores. You know, and so if you put a good rush on him, I think it's difficult. You know, I think it's difficult for him to make plays. Any dark horses in the South that you like?
Bro, honestly, not really, man.
You know, it's weird. It's weird. Like another game I refed was the Panthers, right? They lost to the Eagles. And I look at that team, that lineup, and I'm like, you know, they're solid. They're not crazy, but bro, Ant just makes up for so much, man. He's great as a quarterback, and he's great as a safety. You know, and he makes it work. He has Chris J and Boo for the second time, and Boo looks like the best center out there. Honestly, Boo is tearing it up, bro. Yeah. Boo is tearing it up. I have them as a team you can't count out. I have them there at the bottom there that I think they could sneak into a bye, and I think they could, you know, they can be in a good position later on in the season.
I would say it's between them and the Lions. If the Lions make a good move, because I'll tell you what, dude, we beat the Lions, but we scored at will against the Panthers. We scored at will against the Colts, which if you look at them, both of those teams are ranked. I think the Colts are 4th place and the Panthers are 2nd. Both those teams are supposedly better than the Lions, and we scored at will.
Speaking, look how this works, man. Speaking live, the Lions actually, Alex Ross just dropped, and they picked up Juju.
I knew that because of the DDPA, but I couldn't, you know.
Wow.
You know.
Wow. All right. So now what do you think about the Lions? It's brand new take. Who's throwing the ball there?
I think AJ still wants to throw the ball. I don't know what they should do. I don't think Revis at quarterback is the solution. But we'll see. I mean, it gives them that element of 2, you know, horses at wide receiver with AJ.
Defensively, they're great, bro.
No, now
with
if
Juju,
they were good on D
Clint,
before, now they're
Revis, AJ. Jesus, no, their defense is really good.
What's his name? Is it Jesus?
Seuss. I haven't seen one game of the Lions.
Guy
I can't even
fast as shit. Like in a 7-yard rush, bro, he's there in like 2 seconds. I don't understand how he does it, but he's there in like 2 seconds, man. And I'm not saying that he's the fastest person in DD or the fastest person I've seen, because we all know there's a lot of guys way faster than him. But bro, his
Yeah.
acceleration from the 7 yard rush
Wow.
to the quarterback is, oh, it was
Yeah, I'm gonna see.
extraordinary. That was
I'm
one
gonna
of the
see
main
it.
reasons we struggled to score against the Lions, bro. He was getting a really good rush on Yohan, and Johan is still coming off his knee and all his stuff, and he's not gonna risk rolling up. He'll throw the ball away, or he'll do whatever he has to do before he rolls out and fucking tears another ACL.
All right. So we kind of have a clear cut on who our favorites are for the North and the South. So just over the top, give me some numbers on the ship. Who do you got winning the whole thing? Give me their odds coming into the ship.
As it stands, I got the Niners. They're the clear-cut favorites, just because I don't think that player for player, there's another team that can cover them. Put them all on the field at the same time, 5 best players versus 5 best players. You got Derek, which is a lot of brains and ability. Jeff, experience, ability, and brains. So right there, you got 2 really experienced guys that have the athletic ability and skills to make the plays. Then you have Darren,
Mm-hmm.
who's
Yeah.
never gonna get tired and runs really crispy routes. He's super quick. Cam, sure, he's not
Fast.
the most technically sound player
Yeah,
in
but
DB. He
as
does
your
what he needs
fourth
to
best
do.
player on your team, he's great. As your
As your
fourth best
fourth
player,
best
he's
player,
good.
bro, there's no other team with a fourth best player like that,
Of
barring a
course.
few maybe, but he's doing really well, bro. With that team that he has as a rookie, Derek, I mean, he's doing a really good job with the 49ers, and I think it's like you said about Peaky's MVP race, it's Derek's,
Eric's to
it's
lose.
on
Of
him to
course.
lose because he
Of
has the
course.
pieces to do it.
I agree. And for the Finns and I'm sorry, who's your second? I have Finns and Ravens.
I got Finns as well. The reason I have them second and not third is because if this is how they're performing when apparently Beaky and his team is doing poorly, I can't imagine how they're going to be doing when they
When they
lost.
start firing on cylinders. Yeah, on
Exactly.
all
Yeah.
cylinders.
So I have them at 750, and then I have the Jets in front of the Ravens only for the only reason that if you guys go 0
That
3
you're on
this
the
week,
Jets. Okay.
no, that if you guys
okay.
go 0 3 this week and you don't have a bye,
No, of
it's
course.
hard for you guys
I agree.
to really go all the way without that bye.
Yeah. Let's see. Hopefully we ship Kevin. Moving on. So talk to me. Who do you like as favorites for MVPs?
We just talked about both those men. I mean, and I don't think there's anyone else
I
we
think
should
it's
talk about besides Beaky or Derek.
100%. I'm with you.
That's it.
I got him. I got Beaky as a slight little favorite. Reason is that I think his team is worse, if that makes sense. So I think he has to do more.
He's more valuable.
And correct. And that's why, but it's short. It's like Beaky at plus 800, Derek at plus 900. But that's my list. I have no one else on that list as the favorites. As far as dark horses, I still got Lulu in there. I think Tronky's going to figure it out. I mean, I think they creep up in the standings this week. I think they'll, at the end of Saturday, you'll see them in second or third, And I think Lulu is make plays defensively and offensively this week. I think they actually play the 49ers this week. So I would love to watch that matchup.
Yes.
And then another dark horse I have is another dark horse I have is Yohan. I got him at plus 2,800. So Yohan, jump on that right now because I know you'll bet on yourself. But if he can get some stats defensively, right, I think he's got a good chance. Because I think that with the team you have now, I think if you guys go streaking and get a couple wins, end up as the number 1 seed, number 2 seed, and he's got 20 touchdowns already, if he could finish with 45, which is obviously doable, 50 more or less, and he has a few defensive stats to keep him more or less in the same conversation as Peaky and Derek, then bro, I could see that definitely going through.
Yeah, I agree with you on both sentiments. Just because he's thrown the ball. I mean, Lulu's thrown the ball. He's thrown a few touchdowns. From last I checked his stats the other day that they posted it, I know he's thrown a few touchdowns. He's got the defensive stats. Lulu's gonna, have more than likely most of the flag pulls on that defense. So Lulu's gonna have all the defensive stats and offensive stats because he's gonna do pretty much a little bit of everything and a lot of offense and defense. So
Yep.
he's gonna do a little bit of the little stuff that you really wouldn't expect him to do, like pass and take a few handoffs in between the games. Because Trotti is a solidified quarterback. There's no question
Of
about it.
course.
That's the quarterback on the team. So it's not like
Yep.
it's a 50-50 duty or anything like that. It's just, design plays that go to Lulu and he throws the ball. So he has that benefit over, I would say, Joan, just because he's playing receiver, star defender, safety, whatever you
And
want.
getting
So
handoffs and all
he
that.
ain't getting handoffs and throwing the ball. So he has a slight edge in my opinion. But I agree with Joan as well. I mean, he's been on it, and he has a few picks as well. I think Joan has 2 picks on the season. I mean, granted, they've been
Three.
gorditos, but they're still picks.
Yeah.
Nobody asks how he got them. They're picks.
Tr-
Nobody asks how
Trust
he
me.
gets his picks or how
I know
anybody
I
gets his
know
picks.
a thing or two about some picks.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think he's got it going, and again, he's not gonna have flag pools or anything like that. So that's the only thing that goes against him, Joan. Um, but yeah, man, I mean, the offensive output, we've shown that is what's proven to get a DD
100%.
MVP. Look at
Yep.
Berra last season. I don't know what his defensive stats were, but I can't imagine he had fucking 50 flag pulls.
No, he didn't. He didn't. He did his job. Yeah, I
His
know
job
he
at
had a
quarterback.
few. He had a few picks, and I think he had a pick six, and he had 10, 15 flag pulls, which it's fine.
Yeah, it's what he
Um,
needed to do enough. It's
correct.
what got them the championship.
100%. All right. So let's go down to the segment of upset of the week,
Upset
where
of the week.
the owners do their pick'ems, and we pick one game where they all chose one team, and we pick the one team that's going to upset them. Last week, I went 1-0. I chose the Lions to beat the Cardinals. You went 0-1. You chose the Pats over the Finns. Who do you got this week?
Listen, man, this week something's got to give, and I'm not gonna lie to you. There weren't a lot of games that were sweeps that I felt like I could really make a pick on.
Yeah.
But for the love of Christ and whoever's up there in the sky, please, please win a game of football this week. I got the Seahawks taking the dub over the Raiders and now
Let's
whimpering
go.
like homeless street dogs with their tails between their legs. I hope they drop their balls on a team this week,
I
ruin
love it.
somebody's week.
Let's go, Petey. Drop
I
some
need
dimes,
Petey and
baby.
Mark to commit some homicides in the name of a shit.
Let's do it. I love it.
I got the Seahawks over the Raiders. Lock it in.
Great pick. Great pick. Listen, I love it. I'm actually going with our dark horse MVP, Lulu, to beat the 49ers, the almighty 49ers who haven't lost a game.
Okay.
I have a feeling that there's nobody on that defense that can guard Lulu. If I'm Tronky, I'm taking my chances one-on-one, throw that bitch up, and let Lulu work. And I think they come up with the upset, and I got the Bucks over the 49ers. Lock it in.
I like that a lot. Oh, that's gonna be a good game. I hope
That's
I'm
a great
ready
game.
for that game. Hey, listen, if Jeff decides to cover Lulu, that's gonna be a good matchup, man.
Oh, that's right. Jeff can guard Lulu. That's
a good
that'll
matchup.
be a good
I'm
one.
not saying
That's
one is better than the other or the other is worse than the other, but I think that'll be a really, really good matchup for the both of them. It'll be a good matchup for the both of them.
I agree. All right.
So I'm gonna let you explain our done duel lineup this week, just because you
did it last
put
week.
a little more love into it than I did. So I'm
right.
I'm gonna let you teach the crowd what we got going and why we're gonna win done duel this week.
All right. So at QB, I took you on. He's facing not a very what 3 teams are you facing? I know you're facing the Pats, who are depleted.
Free Gary,
yeah. Free Gary, but not against my team.
Not against my team.
yeah.
to the
free
couch.
Gary the other, yeah, free Gary the other 2 games, right? Not your game though.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah,
got
I'm with it too. You got the Pats, and who else you got? The
Cowboys,
Cowboys.
and the Chargers with two
Okay,
tier
chart with 2 tier 6s and no Eddie.
No Eddie?
Surprise.
No,
So
that's news to me, Papo.
so
If that's
you
true,
are
as Angel says,
playing
big if true.
big if true. Bueno, so you're playing a very depleted teams there. So I expect Yohan to throw 12 touchdowns.
Pause. Is Pablito
So I
really
definitely
out?
no, I think he's playing.
Okay. If that's the case, Papo, just call it a week for the Chargers.
Yeah, well, that's what the Ravens are doing. So, anyways, so at receiver, I got Mark, right? At tier 1, I'm sorry. Tier 1, I got Mark. I believe in Petey. I think he has to go to Mark. You know, Mark has to see those touches if they want to win. And because they're going to beat the Raiders, I'm putting Mark as my tier 1.
I like that. I like
For tier 2, I took Pablo. Obviously, with no Pat and no Kevin, I'm going to be feeding Pablo a lot.
Yeah.
So I expect him to get a ton of reps. For tier 3, we got Justin. I think we met. I mean, I think the Packers are much better. I mean, they beat us. I think the Packers are much better than their 1-5 record indicates. I look at that team and I'm how the fuck are they 1-5? You know, they killed us. Like they beat us in 10 minutes. Raymond look like Tom Brady in 2007. Dead ass. And
shout out to
and
Ray.
let me tell shout out to my boy. You know, I ain't mad at you.
Yeah.
So and I think he found something. He found something with Justin. They kept clicking. So I went with Justin for my tier 3.
Yeah. That was our first game when we were the Eagles. And I'll tell you what, that was probably we beat them. But that was our hardest game. The Bucks beat us in week 1, but it was just Lulu whooped our ass. You can't really say much. It wasn't a team. It was just a one-guy thing. But the Packers were a good team, bro. They were not a bad team. They have a lot of speed. So I agree with you. I'm surprised that they're 1-5.
I could see them going 2-1, 3-0, and turning
I would like to
see
that for that team, to be honest with you, because they got a nice little squad there.
I agree. So my tier 4, I took Juan Lasso. They got Freddie Bop out. Yeah, yes. They got Freddie Bop out, so I think that he's going to get a lot of reps. He's going to see a lot of, at least in our game, he's going to see a lot of tier 4s and 5s guarding him. Yeah. So he's going to have a big chance to make it up. We got Angel as our tier 5. Papo, you know,
do something.
We trust you. Do something. Listen, I came through for you last week. You got your bread. You win. You got your shots. Come through for me. Get some catches. Throw some touchdowns.
People left it all on the season all on the field last season. Con el Alate versus the Cardinals, he had a throwing, a running, and a catching. Pero ya no lo visto hacer.
I need to see that this week. I need to see last season Angel. All right. You don't have a game this week, so you're playing all 3 games. So listen, I need you to lock in, Papa. No. All right.
Wait, he's not going?
Nah, is that the game's late.
Okay, I was about to roast him. He says he's never missed a game at Hard Rock Stadium. Keanu said what? He was going crazy the other day. If he was about to miss the game, I was about to, oh my God, castigarlo. Tocarlo con limón.
After the Middle Tennessee game, I never want to see a game at the Hard Rock.
I was in the club level in that game with about 7.5 minutes left in the first quarter. I just said, bet eso, bro. I'm not going to sit. It was raining, thundering. I'm not going to coger un relámpago straight to the noggin y watch una palicia on the field. Let me go into some aire acondicionado, eat a little sushi, and fucking drink a brewski for $15.
That's the good thing about Hard Rock.
In the AC. That was fucking bad.
So, for my tier 6, I took Gabe S. He dropped some balls last week, but I think that this week he's going to catch them. He's going to have plenty of opportunity, again, with Pat and Kevin out. So, yeah, bro, that's our done duo. I'm very confident in it. I think we're going to be able to lock this up and get the dub.
Yeah, I don't think you have better value at tier 6 for $2 than Gabe S. And
no,
the upside there is huge. It's huge.
No, sir. So now we come to the moment that everyone's been waiting for, where we give you money, free money. We give you free money. Last week I went 3-3. I gave out 5 picks, but if you did see on the ticker or next to us, you're going to see that Ravens plus 3.5 was in there, which got the dub, luckily. So I have a record on the season for 3-3. My boy Suazo, 3-2, but both games he lost was by 0.5. Should have been 5-0. Should have been 5-0. That shit hurt me, bro.
But this week, this is the week, 5-0.
I feel it. This is the week. So since I gave an extra game last week, I only got 4 games this week. I'm coming in college. I got South Carolina plus 10 against Kentucky. Lock that in. I got the Bills and Steelers. I'm taking the under in that game. Kenny Pickett can't score. Bills defense is too much. I got the under in the Dallas and the Rams game. I don't think the Rams got it, bro. I mean, the Rams have been struggling, and Dallas's defense is much better than I think all of us got. So, and then I got the last play. I got the Dolphins and the Jets over. For some reason, I think Teddy Two Gloves is gonna come in, score some points.
Yeah, I mean, man.
Zach Wilson, the MILF lover, is a baller. And I think he's going to score some points. So I got the over 44 for the Dolphins. Those are my 4 picks. What you got?
I got Washington State plus 13.5. That's what they got. That was the opening line. The line I saw when I got these picks. I also got K-State minus 2. And then moving into the NFL, Tom Brady plays his children, the Atlanta Falcons. One more time, shout out to Raymond. So I got the Bucks minus 8. Then we got the Packers versus the Giants. I don't expect this to be a high shootout. I got the under 41. I mean, you have freaking Alan Lazard, wide receiver 1 for Aaron Rodgers. The run game really hasn't been all it was supposed to be. AJ Dillon is pretty much splitting the backfield already with Aaron Jones. So I got the under there. And then I got the Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith has been playing really well. I got them plus 5.5. So
against my Saints, bro?
Yes, man. I don't think the Saints are really – Kamara's been struggling. He's been hurt. And I don't think that they're really going to have – I mean, 5.5 points is good, man. With Geno Smith, the way that he's been playing, he's been moving the ball around. Tyler Lockett has been receiving the ball. We've been getting a lot of touches. So I think they'll get enough.
We've been terrible.
Just to edge out maybe a 3-point loss, maybe, I don't know. But I don't see them that being a crazy blow up by the Saints at all. I see the Seattle Seahawks, honestly, maybe even winning that game.
Chill, relax.
I'm just saying, bro, you never know. This is where things get sketchy in the NFL season. People lose games they're not supposed to. It gets weird.
I know.
You know how it is.
All right. Sounds good, my brother. All right. You got anything else?
That's all we got. Hey, people, send us your winning tickets this time next week. I'm going to have a bunch of winning tickets on this. If you don't take it, it's on you guys. Me and Devin are making money every week.
Yes,
don't
sir.
worry about us. We're good. We're just trying to help out the common folk.
Of course. That's what we're doing.
All right, guys. We'll catch you guys on
brother.
Saturday.
Peace out.
Take care.
Have a great Friday.
Don't get traded. And if you do, make sure you get to Walmart before Saturday morning. If not, you get a penalty for not wearing your team's colored jersey. Hey, free Gary.
Free Gary out there.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Sometimes win. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Sometimes lost. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes